Hello guys and welcome to Painting Panzers. My name's Christian and today we're going to be taking a look at a 172 Gordon Highlander or a Highlander from the company ESCI. This particular miniature was sent to me by a fan of the channel, so I really do appreciate that one, and I'm going to get around to giving this a good go. Painting kilts and that can be quite daunting, so hopefully I'll be able to give you some sort of confidence in painting a kilt. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. I'm just going to give you one disclaimer that a lot of what I'm about to say I actually don't know the correct terminology for, or I don't actually know what the equipment really is called. So yeah, go easy on me on this one, but hopefully following some photos and that I've seen, I'll be able to give it a damn good go. But anyway, enough rambling on, let's get into this video. Now, these are part of the British infantry set from ESCI. As you can see, it's made up of a few different standard British and Scottish Highlanders. So to start off with, I give my model a prime of Tamiya Surface Primer Light Grey. Now, my go-to colour for sort of British red coat red is deep red, so I'm going to be painting his coat in this colour. So it's a really good colour. It's from AK Interactive. It's a fantastic colour for that iconic British red coat. You can obviously use different colours, but deep red honestly is just a fantastic colour for this period. Now for his kilt, I'm going to go ahead and paint that in dark Prussian blue. Now I started off painted each of the checkered pattern in different colours, and then I realised that was just a stupid idea, so I just ended up painting the whole kilt in blue, just saving a whole lot of time messing around. Now there's a lot on here that we need to paint in black grey. Now I'm going to start off with his boots. I'm going to be painting those in black grey, and then I'm going to be moving on to his backpack here. So there's quite a bit on there. There's also this I don't even know what that is, sort of like ammo pouch perhaps, I'm not exactly sure, again not too familiar with this period. Then his bonnet and his I believe it's an ostrich feather, it could be wrong, but I know on his bonnet there's feathers on there as well as any metal items on the model, so in this case his rifle. And then we've got another bag on the back here, and I'm going to be painting that in London grey. So it's a slightly lighter shade than the sort of bags that he's got on the back there, his backpack. So it's a really good colour for that one. And then for any wooden items, I'm going to be going ahead and hitting it with flat earth. Now the rifle didn't have a ton of detail in there, so I had to sort of make sure that I was following the rough sort of colour that this particular rifle would have been. So yeah, just try and do the same if you haven't got the details there. Now there is lots of white also, so to get a good white I'm going to start off with using deck tan. So you can see that there's a belt that's going across. You've got the bits here that I'm painting. Pretty much the rest of the model needs to be painted in white. You've got the belts going across here, the straps going across there, those sort of epaulets there, I'm not even sure what they're called. This bit of his bonnet going to be painted in white, the tops of his socks in white as well, or a deck tan, sorry. And then to break up his kilt, to make it look like a Gordon Highlander's kilt, I'm going to be using deep green, and I'm going to be going down, I'm going to be making a nice line going down. Now this particular model has the checkered pattern on there, so I'm using two boxes on each, like one box on one side, one box on another, to give myself a nice even spread. And then I'm doing the same but going across horizontally. And once that's done, I'm then going to add some khaki, and this is what I'm going to be using for my gold color eventually, but to start off I'm going to be using khaki. So the trigger area seems to be of that sort of goldy bronze color, as well as the stock, the butt of the stock. And then once the model has had time to dry, you then want to hit it with no oil and Lafmium medium at a 1:1 ratio from Warhammer. It's a fantastic black wash, but hitting it with that Lafmium medium as a thinners just dilutes it slightly and doesn't make it so dark and harsh. Now this is the fun part. Once the model's dry, you use deep red and white grey. Any white will do, but I use white grey from AK Interactive. Just to ever so slightly lighten that deep red, and then you just go over the model, but leaving that original washed base color in the recesses. And you can already see that arm is really starting to pop. That red just looks so vibrant and perfect for that Napoleonic red color. Now for those deck tan areas, I'm going to be using white grey. So I was saying we're going to be doing a lot of white, and we are. So we're going to go ahead and hit all of those areas with white grey. I like to put the deck tan down first, because if you ever apply white paint or a white grey paint, you'll tend to find that you really struggle to get a good nice coating down. If you put a bit of a darker colour down first, it's easily put down, and you don't struggle with applying it. This white colour afterwards is a whole lot easier. Now for the blue areas, I'm just going to go ahead and add some medium blue in there, but you can see that I'm not painting the whole thing in medium blue. I'm just adding in some details within each of those squares that are made up in that kilt, and then he's got another bit of blue equipment here that I'm going to give just a little go. And then following that same method, I'm going to be using that deep green and white grey at a 2:1 ratio, and I'm just going to be lightening some of those squares up with this colour. And you can see that kilt is already really starting to pop. Just going ahead and taking my time. You can see I'm just tidying up a bit of mess there, just a bit of water on the brush, and just tidying it up very nicely there. It's quick and easy to tidy up when you use that method when using these water-based paints. So just add a bit of water, just get to it before that paint dries. Now add some flat yellow. You can see I'm going to line straight down the middle of those green areas, and then I'm going to do it across as well. And that's just going to give you a really effective looking kilt that represents the Gordon Highlanders. You could probably do less green than that next time, but this had the pattern already in the sculpted in the model, so it's very easy to do, and it makes the model just look fantastic. And then add some yellow to his cuffs here as well. Just some nice straight lines. So it's all about making these markings pop. And do the same with the deep red on his socks, just to add some nice lines. I didn't realize that they were actually more of a diagonal pattern. So yeah, try and do that. Don't do the straight down pattern that you see here. I mean, you can do, it's a lot easier than obviously the diagonal pattern. And then you just want to paint in the sort of band of the sock that goes around it. And then on this bit of the bonnet as well, there's some nice red details in there. So again, not 100% accurate, but with how it's sculpted and stuff, it looks pretty bloody good. Now for that bonnet that I've just mentioned, I'm just going to be going over it with black grey. I'm not going to be going too crazy trying to line it up too much. It was a black bonnet anyway, and the feather was black, so just go over it with black grey. It's just going to save yourself a heap of time. I think if you try and lighten it too much, it will look unrealistic. And do the same with those black the black backpack and that sort of other little boxes there. And then for the metal areas, just go over them with black grey and basalt grey at a 1:1 ratio. This is just the usual method that I do now. This is a two-step process, so as we've been doing before, where we've just been doing it sort of like a layer and leaving it, we're moving on. With this particular step, I do a layer and then I follow it with a highlight, which we'll see in a minute. So I just like to do that with my metal areas. I don't know why, I just think it looks a lot nicer for metal. So as I said, we're just going over it now with basalt grey. Now this is the highlights. You're just picking out those raised areas, giving those metal areas of the rifle just a little bit of a brighter coat, because obviously metal is going to be a little bit brighter and it's going to be shining in certain areas, and you can just pick out the details there. And then following the same principles what we did with the metal, I'm going to be using flat earth and orange brown at that 1:1 ratio, and I'm just going to start simulating those sort of wood grains. I'm just scratching in this colour now, and it really does start to make that flat earth pop. You just need to just slowly build it up, and then once you're happy, just go over it again with orange brown, but just slowly scratch it in. You can see here I'm just taking my time just to really not add too much on. Orange brown is obviously quite bright, so you don't want to add in too much, because if you add in too much, it's just going to look like a really bright orange rifle, which probably not. It's not the look that you're going for. And for those khaki areas, you can see there's a bit of the, like a buckle or something on his torso there that I'm painting in gold. And there's a few little parts of his musket that are being painted in gold as well. Again, it's probably more of a brass colour. They wouldn't have been using gold, I don't think. But gold at this scale makes it pop a little bit more. I'm then using Stormhost Silver for a silver on his bayonet there. But you can just leave in that black grey if you really want to. And then for the flesh areas, I'm using Light Flesh from AK Interactive. I love Light Flesh from AK Interactive. It's my go-to for Caucasian skin tones. But again, it really is up to you. Most Caucasian skin tone paints are pretty much similar. I just find that the flow of this is just a lot nicer. But then I pair that with Flesh Wash from Vallejo. It's a pink wash, pinky red wash, and it goes into those creases and skin folds and stuff very nicely, and gives it that red hue that you want for all those creases. Now just go over the flesh again with Light Flesh. Once that wash is dried, you want to hit the nose, the cheeks, the chin, but connect the cheeks and the chin together, the ear. Then you want to move on to the hands, so you do the fingers and the top of the hand and any other details that you can see. You're pretty much repainting it all, just leaving that original colour in the creases. And then you go over with Light Flesh and Highlight Flesh. This is where you get a little bit more technical. So I just hit the nose with a line, hit the chin with a line, I hit just underneath the eye socket and around the nose with a bit of paint, but not connecting anything together. Hit each ear with a little bit of paint, each fingertip, the top of the hand as well. And I'm going to leave this part running for a little bit longer so you can see the full process, because this guy's got some knees showing as well. So you can see I'm hitting all the fingers there, and then I'm just hitting the very top of the hand, but not painting all of it. Where the knuckles are is getting a bit of attention too. And then I'm moving on to just the knee. So you can see I'm painting the top of the knee there, not really worrying too much about below the knee line. And then you should have something that looks like this. He is complete now and he looks fantastic. This is really making me want to paint more of these because they look awesome. So let me know in the comment section if you want to see a full army of these painted up. Alright guys, so there we have it. I do apologize again, like I always do. If you're here for a historical painting guide, please do not give me hate, because I've given you the disclaimer at the start that I don't really know my historical information as well as probably I should do, but I just like to paint. So yeah, go easy on me with this one and all of the ones that I move away from World War II, because I tend to struggle quite badly with it. But I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed painting this Gordon Highlander, and I hope you enjoyed the process too. So do let me know in the comments section if you've enjoyed it and if you're going to also be painting up some of those Highlanders as well. Now, a massive thank you, as always, must go out to my Patreons and YouTube channel members, specifically those Panzer Aces. So that's Patrick, Oscar, James, Panzer Jim, Lack of Foresight Gaming, Mike, Mikey, Eric, Rothgar, Ian, Adam, Rob, and Alan. You guys are all champions. Thank you ever so much for being those Aces. You guys really are awesome. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here. Please do leave me a comment below if you've enjoyed this video or give me an idea of what you want to see next. But until then, I will catch you at the next one.